Welcome everybody, thanks for joining me today for another draft of Aetherdrift. I'm on the MTG trying to make the magic happen. So without further ado, let's draft. If you do like the content, please hit the like or subscribe button down below. It helps me a lot and it doesn't cost you a thing. Thank you. So let's see what is there. There is a Fearless Swashbuckler, and I had a draft yesterday where I did pass this and didn't try to build the deck, the cycling deck, because I was stupid, I guess, because I wanted to take some green cards just because it's so good. But actually, to be honest, I have drafted so much green, and the best result from my latest draft was actually with a Dimir artifacts deck. So taking the Fearless Swashbuckler, or other than that, uncommon wise, like Road Rage is a solid removal spell, but I'm not too impressed with all the other cards. There is a Migrating Catrodon, but I don't think I wanna. I just think I wanna try the Fearless Swashbuckler. Okay, now we have a Pace Setter Paragon, and that is definitely a really good red card. Then we have a Mold Tender. For sure, that's also a really strong card in the green deck, and this can make mana. So, but given my start and given that everybody is always trying to draft green, I'll just take the Pace Setter Paragon. Other than that, in this board, there's a Right's End, which is a fine removal spell, a Spectral Interference, which is really good, and then we have a Beast Rider Vanguard, and but that's probably it. So I think I'll take the Pace Setter Paragon and just see where this goes from here. Okay, now I did got past a Scrounging Skyray, and that fits the discard strategy extremely good. So it's a 2 mana, 1/2 flying creature. Whenever you discard one or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So I think the cycling idea was actually not too shabby. So I'll just take this Scrounging Skyray and see if more cycling stuff was coming my way. Other than that, here we have a Reckless Velocitor. That is a fine creature. We have a Hellish Sideswipe. Not too fond of that, and I haven't seen much play. Then we have a Gas Guzzler. What does this do? It's a 2/1 starting the engines at max speed. Okay. Well, I'll take the Scrounging Skyray and see where this goes. In this pack, another Reckless Velocitor. We have a Carrion Cruiser, then a Boros Land, Races Scoreboard, Light Wheel Enhancement, but I think the Nimble Thopterist is actually better. The Reckless Velocitor is okay if it saddles, when this creature saddles a mount or vehicle, that mount or vehicle gets +2/+0, but I think the Nimble Thopterist is actually the better card for this, for me in this pack, or the Magmakin Artillerist. Whenever you discard one or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. Given the cycling start, I actually think I want the Magmakin Artillerist over the Nimble Thopterist. Or should I just think that this will be tabled? I'm not sure. Here we have a Daretti, that Daretti's power is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Whenever Daretti enters or attacks, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. I'm not really sure if I want that. And seeing a late Grimbauble is actually, I should be maybe considering going into Rakdos, since blue doesn't seem that particularly open. But here is a Lightning Strike, and given I'm gonna play red for sure, so I think the Lightning Strike is the best pick from this pack. And now we got a Wow, okay, this is actually a good blocker. So I think I'll just take it. here we have a Clamorous Ironclad, which fits my cycling strategy. And also looking at my curve, it's probably better, but actually I think this is a solid creature. It doesn't fit the cycling strategy too good, but it is a fine blocker that definitely needs to be removed if the opponent wants to get through with their attackers. So I'll take that and just hope for other cycling cards coming my way later on. This pack doesn't look too good. We have a Burner Rocket, we have a Gastel Blockbuster, and a Transit Mage. I think taking the Transit Mage may work if we find some good artifact, but other than that, if we don't find an artifact, then it's just a 3-mana 2/2 creature, which I'm not too fond of. So in this, from this pack, I'll actually take the Burner Rocket and see where this goes. I am open to switching into black, maybe into Rakdos, but red feels super open. It's not the strongest color in this set, but here we have a Marauding Mako, and that definitely fits my Shark Pirate cycling deck that I'm trying to build. So far looking good. And here we have a Goblin Surveyor and a Prowcatcher Specialist. Other than that, there's a Brightfield Glider, a Grim Javelineer, a Skybox Fairy, and a Scoured Barons. But I think the Prowcatcher Specialist is actually the better card for me. It has haste and I can exhaust it to become bigger, so I'll take that. And here we have a Racer's Scoreboard. When this enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Oh sure, I do like that. And I think with that card we could also take the creature I just passed. I'm not now I don't know the name, but the one that looks for the artifacts. So maybe we'll stumble on some of that later. Okay, here I'll take the Clamorous Ironclad. Just looking at my curve, this is okay, even though it's just a vehicle. It can be cycled, so it fits my discard strategy. And another Racer's Scoreboard. I'm actually happy to see this at max speed. Spells cost 1 less to cast, but I can draw 2 cards and then discard a card. And that is what my deck wants to do. Here we have a Stall Out. I can definitely use some interaction, but I'm not too fond of the Stall Out. It's not the best card, in my opinion. Here is a Camera Launcher, which turned out to be a playable card. And now we have a Catramoss. That's a fine card, but unfortunately it doesn't fit into my deck at all. And in draft, it's really not playable, actually. Other than that, we have Wastewood Verge, Tune Up, Sky Crash. Sky Crash is actually, I'm fond of that, and looking at my creature count, I have 8 creatures so far. The Sky Crash is fine. It can take out any artifact, which can be really good later on, and it can be cycled, so I definitely want that. Here we have another Kelorna, the good blocker, but other than that, there's a Drogosaur Auxiliary, and I think that card is probably one I want to take out of this pack. We have a Keen Buccaneer. That's just a solid creature, but looking at my curve, I definitely lack some end game strong card. So I'll take the Drogosaur Auxiliary. It's a flying haster that deals 2 damage if it attacks while saddled. There's nothing else in this pack I'm too fond of, so I'll take the Drogosaur and see what the next pack is bringing me. So we have a Spiromech cycle that exhaust, tap another untapped mount or vehicle. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each mount or vehicle you control other than this vehicle. So I'm not sure if that's really the strongest card for me to pick here. there is, but other than that, in my colors, I think Skystreak Engineer is okay, but I have so many 2-mana creatures. Then we have the Camera Launcher, Scrap Compactor, that is removal. I actually think I should maybe take the removal spell because I don't have any interaction so far. So I'll take that and put it here. Now we have a Guidelight Synergist, a Spell Pierce, Marauding Mako, and that's definitely the card I want to take out of this pack, since that is a solid 1-drop that can grow whenever I cycle. Trip Up is okay. I like the Trip Up better than the Stall Out, but you know, it's also possible. So I'll take the Marauding Mako in this from this pack. And now I definitely want to put the focus on combat tricks, on removal, and I'm super happy to see the Flood the Engine in this pack, since that is a strong removal card. Other than that, there's a Racer Scoreboard, but I already have 2 of those, and I don't think I want to play many more copies. So the Flood the Engine is what I'll take gladly out of this pack. Now we have a Endrider Spike Spitter that has reach and starts my engines, and at max speed at the beginning of my upkeep I can exile the top card of my library and play that card. So I have an extra card each turn, and I think that's a solid creature. Other than that, there's a Goblin Surveyor, but I think I'm starting to like this deck. Actually, it's looking better. So I'll take that. And here we have another Skystreak Engineer, Clamorous Ironclad, Endrider Catalyzer, and a Pedal to the Metal. And I think the Pedal to the Metal is the card I want to take from here. So I'll put it on my interactive pile. The Burner Rocket can go there, and the Lightning Strike. So I am now... Ooh, and now we have a boosted sloop. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. I think that's what my deck wants. So I'll take that, confirm that pick. And now the Catramos got tabled, right? And here's a Nimblethopterist and a Pedal to the Metal. And I think the Nimblethopterist is now, looking at my interactive spell pile, the better choice, since it's 2 bodies for 4 mana, and I'll take that. Sky Crash also on the interactive spell. So now I'll just focus and hope for some good creatures coming my way. The Gastel Blockbuster, I'm not too fond of that creature. She just can destroy an artifact, but it's a 3 mana 3/2, so I think the Kalorna is a solid blocker, and I want to take that out of this pack. And now we have a Gastel Blockbuster, Ticket Tortoise, and I think I'll just take the Blockbuster, put it in my sideboard. So far, this deck is looking actually much better than I expected. It's okay. Like I didn't have much success playing this deck, but I haven't played it very often. I gotta admit that. And here we have another Racer Scoreboard. I'll just put it in the sideboard for now, but I'm very happy to see that these cards are... Ooh, and here we have another Flood the Engine, and I think I want to take the Flood the Engine over the boosted sloop, because my creature count is high, and all of the creatures I have, most of them are playable. Like, I can put the Camera Launcher in the sideboard for now to see, and I already have a boosted sloop, and I think the Flood the Engine is, for example, much better than the Stall Out. So I'll gladly pick the Flood the Engine from this pack. And now we have a Gastel Thrill Roller. That's a Trampling Haste. When this enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So it can be crewed for 2, and I can pay 3, discard a card, and return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. That is actually something really good. I do like that, and I want to have that in my deck. so I'll just take it. But let's see what else is there. There's a Glory Heath Lynx, meaning and a Guidelight Optimizer, Boom Scholar. This Wretched Doll, Pack Doll Terror is actually a really good and strong pack, but I am happy with the card that I took. Here we have a Quack Feast, a Shepherd Archfiend, Cloudspire Sky Cycle, is it, and really nothing else. A Howlers Heavy, and I have seen that. That has surprised me often. So I'll just take the Howlers Heavy, and maybe I'll put out the Burner Rocket. Not sure, or the Pedal to the Metal, but the Howlers Heavy, definitely it is a creature and it can be cycled, and if it's cycled, it acts as a surprise. So another Pace Setter Paragon, definitely a really strong creature. Doesn't fit the cycling strategy too good, but I just still think with the double strike it's a solid creature. And now there's an Archik, wow. A Razor Scoreboard, Right End, Stall Out, Thunderhead Gunner, definitely a really good card. I can discard a card, draw a card. Sure, I'll take the Thunderhead Gunner. And now we gotta make some decisions. What do we wanna put out of the deck? And what do we want to have in the deck? Here, Trade the Helm. I'm not too fond of exchanging control. It can be a surprise, and it can be really good to trade a 1/1 against some bigger creature, and it can be cycled. So maybe this is just the pick I want from this pack. Another Trade the Helm, not something I really want now. Pace Setter Paragon, third. Is that like, it doesn't fit my strategy too good, but it's just a super solid creature, I guess, and I'll take that now. Full Throttle, there is a Spectral Interference. I think I should take that. Goblin Surveyor. So wow, I have a lot of, so the Scrap Compactor can go in my sideboard. Gotta make some decisions now. This got tabled, sure. Boosted Sloop. I'm not sure if I want it. Is the vehicle, and whenever I attack I draw a card and then discard a card, meaning it can make my Marauding Mako bigger. Here we have a Guidelight Optimizer that actually fits much better into the artifact stack, and a Dynamite Diver. When it dies, it deals 1 damage. That's a solid 1-drop. And I think I could play one more 1-drop. Here we have this Guidelight Matrix. I can draw a card when it enters, but I don't think I want to have that. Maybe I'll just take the Shepherd Archfiend, put it in my sideboard, and here, Kickoff Celebrations. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. At max speed, I can sacrifice this, and creatures and vehicles gain haste until end of turn. I don't really see that. I don't want to play that, but so far, okay, looking really good, looking solid, looking strong. Hoping that this deck is going to work. And now we gotta put out some cards. Okay, we are not black, we don't play that. Now we gotta still decide which 6 cards are going to leave this deck. And I think, looking at the curve, we can get rid of one of the blockers. Discouraging Skyray is definitely something I want. Spectral Interference is okay. Burner Rocket, I think I'll put that out since it doesn't fit my deck too well. Prowcatcher Specialist, that's just a 2-mana thing with haste. I think I can take that out, and still we have enough interaction. We can cut 1 Boosted Sloop, I guess. Or the Magmakin Artillerist is good. When I cycle it, it deals 1 damage. Whenever I discard, it deals that much damage. That fits the strategy really good. So I think I'll put out the pedal to the metal. Now we just have to cut 2 more cards. That's 17, 14. Oh, okay. So we definitely want at least 16 lands. I think this deck can work with 16 lands. The Drogosaur Auxiliary is just something that can end the game for me. The Trade the Helm, I'm not too fond of the Trade the Helm actually. I'll just put that out. Hollis Heavy is good, that can stay. Nimble Thopterist can stay. The Ironclad can be cycled. The Andrider Spike Spitter, that's probably something. Yeah, like it's a good card, and I get an extra card off of that. I'll just cut 1 racer scoreboard, and now I'll cut the Dynamite Diver. And 1 less card. I think we have 4 instants, 5 artifacts. I think it's okay to cut, and we have 14 creatures. I think it's okay to cut 1 more thing, and I think the thing we should be cutting is probably the... Wow, hard. That's a tough decision. I think the... Like, okay, 1 Pace Setter Paragon, that can go. Okay, now I think this deck is looking good. Can't wait to try it out. Pretty Land, Heavy Hand, Boosted Sloop, Gastel Thrillseeker, Thunderhead Gunner, no 2-drops. That is somehow often my starting hand. But I'm not too fond of Mulligan, so I'll just keep it and try my luck with that hand. Opponent is on the play. Playing a mountain. I drew a land, not what I needed to, and not what I wanted. Passing the turn. Opponent plays a forest. Followed by an Endrider Catalyzer. Now I'll play a land, and I think I'll end the turn. Do I cycle it or not, or play it next turn? I think I want the Magmakin Artillerist. Since it's a good blocker, it has 4 for toughness, and that is for most creatures in the set. Probably more than enough, and it pings for 1 damage whenever I cycle or discard something. So I think that's really good. Prowcatcher Specialist, sure. Opponent, they're gonna attack, and I'm going down to 17. And now I'll not cycle that. I want to play that next turn. So, opponent is at speed 2. Now it's my turn. Drew another land, playing a mountain, and now I'll play the Magmakin Artillerist. Passing the turn to my opponent. I'm not too fond of my slow start, but I didn't want to mulligan. Maybe it was a poor decision, but I've had so much bad luck mulliganing so that I'll just keep a 4-land hand. But now it turned out to be slow. Okay, they are. I'm not gonna block that. So now they'll activate the exhaust ability. Make that bigger. Short 4 damage into my face. And now I can play another land. What's the play now? The Gastel Thrill Roller is a Trample Haste, and I think that's probably just good. I think that then we have the Pace Setter Paragon, which definitely is good, but I think the Gastel Thrill Roller just can go in for damage with my opponent. Or I play this, and then I can attack, draw a card, and discard a card, which I definitely want to do, because I can get rid of the lands now. I'll attack, draw a card, get rid of one land, submit that, and now this deals 1 damage to my opponent. I'm at 11 life, which I'm not too fond of, but let's just see how this goes. Passing the turn to my opponent, who plays a forest and attacks. I can't do anything. Okay, down to 4 life. Opponent is at max speed. This can add mana. And now they played a Gibberic Omnivore. We can play the Thunderhead Gunner. And I think... Or should we play 2 creatures? But they have 3. So I think I wanna be able to kill whatever they might be attacking with. So I'll just play the Thunderhead Gunner and not attack now, but I can do that and discard a card and draw a card, and that's good. Pinging for 1 damage and passing the turn to my opponent. So no attacks here, wanna be able to block. Opponent draws a card, plays a mountain, and a Aetherdrift Godseeker, indestructible haste. Wow, that's just crazy. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. Aetherdrift can't attack or block unless you have max speed, but they have max speed. They have the indestructible god creature. I think that's probably it for me. So I can crew this for the Magmakin Artillerist, since that has 3, but I'm dead for sure. Like, I can block with that, and I can block with that, but I'll still be dead. So, okay, fair enough. The blue and red archetype, I'm not too fond of that. Okay, somehow I do have many 2-drops, but I never draw any. Still gonna keep that hand. Boosted Sloop 2 times in my hand, and they made the Night Market green. Okay. Opponent's turn. Is it okay? What are they doing? They don't have a land. They have a land. Okay, not playing anything, which definitely is good. If they have some menace, I can counter that. Velohard Bike is it a menace I want to have countered? Like, if I counter it now, no. I'll just let that resolve. Let them make mana and play a land. And now I'll play the Pacesetter Paragon. Passing the turn to my opponent. Definitely feels slow, but my opponent was not faster than me, which makes me happy. So, okay, they have some removal. Oh, bouncing that back to my hand. Okay, can live with that. So I guess I'm in for 4 damage probably. Skystreak Engineer. Sure. So I have no land. Okay. I can kill the Skystreak Engineer. And I think that's probably the thing to do. Or no, I'll play the Pacesetter Paragon. Just to have a creature in the game that can be removed later on. It's just a 1 power creature, and Okay, bouncing that off again. Now I have to discard a card, and I'll just discard one of the boosted sloops. Okay, opponent is bouncing hard. Island, and now they're exhausting the Sky Streak Engineer. Now I can not kill it with the Lightning Strike. Definitely doesn't go my way here. Nothing really going my way. So I'll try to play the Pace Setter Paragon again, and passing over the turn to my opponent, who plays a Simic deck, but not the best cards. Haven't seen that much good cards so far, but now they just drew 2 cards, so card advantage wise they definitely have the upper hand. Going in for 3, I'll take that, and I'll just now flood the engine on the Sky Streak Engineer. Good. Okay, that slowed them down just a little bit. I can go in for 2 damage, passing the turn. Opponent draws a card and plays a Guidelight Optimizer that has 2 power, so they can crew the Velohard bike. Sure, probably gonna do it, I think. Yes, and attack for 4. I'm going down to 10 life. So I can kill the Guidelight Optimizer, then they just have some vehicles, but are not able to crew them. Run over, sure, that's a tough spot. And now I have the Howler's Heavy. I have the Lightning Strike. Wow, I need another land to be getting this game on. But I think just for now it's probably better to Lightning Strike the Guidelight Optimizer, or wow, that's some tough decisions here. I'll just wait, pass the turn, and what do I'll just discard the Howler's Heavy, I guess. Opponent draws a card. Doesn't look too good for me here. The cycling deck, somehow it doesn't really work, or at least when I played it doesn't really work. But okay, Sky Serpent Seeker, that needs to be dealt with. But okay, they're already activating the exhaust ability, so now I'll just Lightning Strike it, I guess, to kill that. But my pace is too slow. I had too much bad luck with my starting hand, and maybe I should have mulliganed it, not sure, but this doesn't look too good for me. They can crew the Velohard bike again, and I'm going down to 6 life. Okay, so I could definitely use a land. Didn't find a land. So what I have is this, which is not strong enough. Wow, this is looking super bad. I'm very unhappy with how this turns out how this plays out. Okay, wow, what's the play? Just play the Scrounging Skyray, I guess. Wow, that makes me unhappy with how this game went. Electron Armory, sure. Guidelight Optimizer has now Vigilance. They'll just crew the Velohard bike again, and I think, wow, that's it for me. Gotta block the bigger creature, so I'll just take 3 damage, going down to 3 life. I'm not gonna be able to turn that around with that. Super bad stuff going my way happening. Okay, now I have the Nimble Thopterist, so that means I can still survive for another round, and I can block the flyer as well. So that just bought me a little time, but I think it's too late. I don't think I'm gonna be able to turn that around, but let's see. Don't give up my hopes. Opponent plays a scrap compactor that can deal 3 damage, and I think that's probably it, crewing that. So now that's happening. Okay, I'll need to block the Hull Drifter with the... Wow, trample. Oh, wow. That's too bad. Okay. So, wow. Nothing going my way. That's a little disappointing, but let's just see how the next game goes. This is looking much better than the starting hands of my first 2 games. I'll keep that and open the game with the Marauding Mako. And then I'll just play the Kalorna or the Scourging Skyray. But this hand is much better. I would have loved hands like this in the other 2 games. Maybe I should start mulligan more often, but mulligan is not on my side. Whenever I mulligan, I just get... When I have a bad starting hand and I mulligan, it often is just even worse. That was how I lost my last draft. I had a decent deck, but I had to mulligan twice, and yeah. So, okay, Marauding Mako, I'll open with that. Passing the turn to my opponent. They draw a card, they play a forest. I'll play an island, and now I think I'll just play I'll just attack now. And then I'll play the Scourging Skyray. That grows bigger whenever I cycle something. I could use the Howler's Heavy for cycling, and also as a surprise for my opponent. They are... What are they doing? Not responding. Okay, playing a second forest, and I'll play an island. And I think, like, if I cycle that, then just my creatures will just get bigger. So, but I can also cycle that. But it's a strong thing with menace that can be played later on. So I guess I'll just attack for now. And I'll just play the Kalorna and anti-turn. I can still cycle that, but I actually wanna use the Howler's Heavy for cycling over this, because this can get strong. Okay, sure. And my turn. Drew another land. I'll play the second mountain, and now I think what's the play? Like, I'll attack with all of my creatures. Ooh, shouldn't have attacked with the Kalorna. Okay, they are blocking that. So I do wanna cycle, so I can kill the Elvish Refueler if I cycle both. I'll just cycle the Howler's Heavy. Make the Elvish Refueler get -3, -0. And now I can still cycle that. And I think I'll just do it, yeah, sure. Just to get rid of the Elvish Refueler. And make my cards stronger. Cool. So now this is how this deck is supposed to play. I can counter any non-creature spell. I can counter that. Cool. Okay. Drew a card, playing a land, and now I can just... I think I can just... I should cycle that, I guess. Cycle that, make them stronger, and attack. Now I can play the boosted sloop. Whenever I draw a card, I attack, I can draw a card and discard a card. I always attack with the Kalorna as well. And what do I want to get rid of? I guess the boosted sloop. Don't need that twice. Now it's even bigger. And that's how this deck is supposed to go. Yes. So that makes me happy that this game is going my way now. Opponent literally didn't play anything. Maybe that's the reason. So just the Elvish Refueler that I was able to get rid of. But so okay, I'm not saying making the magic happen, because this does not satisfy me now. Let's see. This is again. This time I'll just try to mulligan it. And what did I say? Whenever I mulligan, something happens to me. I'll just no, I can cycle that. Wow. I can put back a mountain. I'll put back a mountain. Trying to find a an island. Hello. Opponent says hello. Drew a mountain. Next, end the turn. I'm gonna cycle that for sure. Sure. Starting their engine. Sacrifice this creature. Copy target spell you control. Okay. And I can cycle that. Hopefully finding an island. Yes. Wow. Okay. So now I'm a little at rest. Passing the turn to my opponent. If they play some strong creature, I will try to counter it. Passing to attackers. 1 damage is definitely something I can live with. They're going at speed 2. District Mascot. This enters with the +1/+1 counter on it. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters. Destroy target artifacts. When this creature attacks while saddled, put a +1. I'll just counter that, just to slow down the opponent. They cannot pay 4. And it's my turn. Playing a land, and I think I'll play the Haste Setter Paragon just to have the bigger creature here. And pass the turn over to my opponent. They are bouncing that back to my hand. And playing a forest and a Nimble Thopterist. Sure. Attacking me for 1 damage. Going to speed 3. I play my land. And I play the Endrider Spike Spitter. Sure. That's a strong creature. It has 4 toughness. So that means I'm able to block them. 5 damage. No. No, I'm not happy with how this goes. 5 damage into my face. So now I can... Should I flood the engine? No, on the Nimble Thopterist. Like, wow. Okay, Pace Setter Paragon. Sure. And I'll just wait. This deck is just not good, actually. I'm a little disappointed. Or I just had bad luck. But I'll... Do I take the damage? I think I should take the damage. Should I cycle that? No, because next turn I can cast it, and then I have another blocker. So now, opponent playing a mountain, passing the turn. So I'll just play the Magmakin Artillerist, and then I have a blocker. So what are they doing? Spectral Interferencing my Magmakin Artillerist, but I can counter that unless they pay 2, but they will be able to pay 2. So it's just not worth it. The Spell Pierce is just not a really good card, actually. You know, I'm not super fond of that. So opponent drew a card. I'm at 9 life. They are... I'll just kill the Nimble. Or do I risk taking it one more time, the damage? Sure. I'll cancel the blocks. No blocks here. Then I'm at 4 life. I have the Howler's Heavy, meaning I could kill their... I could surprise them. If I cycle it... I can just I can just flood the engine on the Nimblethopterist, and then I can... No, I'm not gonna attack, not now. Opponent drew a card. Playing a Glitch Ghost Surveyor, sure. Copying the Glitch Ghost Surveyor, sure. Now they have 3 flyers going in for 1 damage. I can cycle the Howler's Heavy, and I can play the Boosted Sloop. But I don't think that I'm going to be able... Like the 3... No, this is just it. Wow, this is very, very disappointing. Discard a card, Dispel Pierce. So now I can kill one of the Glitch Ghost Surveyors, but still they're gonna get in for 3 damage next turn. So I'll just have to give this up, and that's just a very, very disappointing draft. I'm not gonna try my luck with the blue and red cycling deck again. To be honest, it wasn't fun and it didn't work out, so I'll just leave it at that and wish you a nice day.